Welcome to City Skylines, and today we are talking about the 5 best mods of the year. And those mods are all, in my personal opinion, and the ones that I've used the most for the whole year, and what they actually do. So, how you can leverage some of the potential of these mods and how you can use it to make your game even better. I won't go into any specific order, but these are the main mods that I've been using and that I think you should use as well, or at least know about them. And the first mod that we have is actually Repaint. And what it does, it allows you to change the color of all the roads in your city. So for example, on the right side here, we have the normal road color, which looks like a little bit like cement. And on the left, we have a darker color, which looks, in my opinion, a little bit more closer to asphalt that we are used to see most of the place. So if you select Repaint and click on one of the roads, you can change the road to any color you want. So you can, for example, maybe use a green to set up a bike lane path or something like that. Or you can even select one of the roads you had, copy and paste, and then you have the same color in all roads across the city. Now, keep in mind that you can change the type of the road, and that changes all those types of roads in the whole city. So you do just that once, and if, for example, we go in here and change one of these highways in here to a red color, you see that everywhere where we use that highway, we now have a red colored highway. These actually have been helping me make the game exactly how I want it to look, especially when it comes to the road colors. And it's also one of the most asked questions that I get in all my videos, TikToks, and shorts as well. So there you go. Repaint is our number one. The next mod in the list is Transfer Controller. And to access this mod, you can select any building that produce materials, and you have this little icon on the right side. So clicking on the icon of the transfer controller, you get some more control over what happens with the goods. So for example, we have this large warehouse in here, and we are making sure that we don't allow any imports and that we are preferring to receive goods from the local district. We have other options as well. If we look at, for example, the modular house factory, I'm allowing all the goods to use to prefer local districts, but also just using these districts. So we can't receive goods from anywhere else in the map or from outside. It's just anything contained within this district, which is called Concord Wood. And to send it out, we also are just sending to the same district, which in this case, what it enables me to do is that everything that we produce in the district, because this is a forestry industry, will be used in here. So for example, the plant timber that we produce in here will go into there. We do need more plastic, glass, and metal, and we have some warehouses that will actually accept those types of materials around here. As you can see, plastic. And for this one, it's the same deal. We just we don't allow imports. We are getting anything from anywhere in the map, and we don't have this restriction. But to let it out, we just allow the goods from this specific warehouse to go into this specific suburb, which means that there will be always a very good chance that we have enough plastic around for this factory. This helps a lot in getting your production right, and especially when you do these industries where you have forestry, sometimes farms, oil, and then you have some unique factories like this one. This helps quite a lot in telling the game where the goods should come from, where they should go, and what do you do when you're done. And using this, I can make sure that all my goods will go into a warehouse, for example, this one, and this warehouse will be the one responsible to do the exporting, so allowing exports in there. And then everything that we're receiving here will be received within this district as well, because we don't want to get any unique products from other districts. Each district has their own warehouse that will handle this. And you can also choose which types of vehicles you allow on these buildings. So I usually leave any, I don't really mind. I like the difference between the vehicles that we have, and I actually prefer that happens that way. But there you go, that's another one. Transfer controller, it's been helping me with all the goods in here. As you can see, we do have a lot. We have an industry over here, we have industry over there, we have industry over here and here, and this helps me control where these goods are going and what they are doing. Number 3 in the list is intersection marking tool. So if you have seen me play this game before, you definitely know that it's probably one of the mods that I use the most. And the reason is because of the amount of detailing you can use in your roads, and that helps you make things a lot more realistic and looking how they are in real life. Although my style is not realistic, just adding some of these details makes all the difference. So all these lines, line marks in here on the road, these solid lines in here, these teeth lines in there, all of these are done with intersection marking tool. The crosswalks is one of the things that I use it like most of the time, adding my own crosswalks because they look a lot better than the in-game ones. And the way to do this, I might go just on this corner in here and show that to you. If you select intersection marking tool and select that corner, you can hold shift and create your own sidewalks in there like this. And then you can do so much more with this. Let me redo this one because I did it wrong. There we go. You can do fillers. So fillers are basically these solid areas in here. If I select this one, you can see that we have solid, and you have way more options in there. You can use like chevrons, stripes, you can use grids, you can use even grass or gravel, ruined cliffs, and there are so many options that you can do in here that is just really good. You can create templates, you can copy and paste. So I could go in here, copy this out, go on the other side and paste it. This helps you do it a lot faster as well. You can create those lines as well. So you have these points, you click on one and the other, and you create these lines over here. And then you also have the options for solid dash. You can have props in there. So for example, if you want, I don't know, flagpoles in there, you go. You have flagpoles in here. So you can use this for so much. Obviously, you would never do that in the middle of the road, but you can use this to do so much everywhere. And this just helps you bring life to your city and to your junctions, to your roundabouts. And another place that I might show you is, there's little bit of a traffic in there, but you can do junctions like this as well. And I quite like playing with this and making sure that these all look really nice. And we do these merge lanes in here as well, using that to just detail. But yeah, that's the number 3 in my list. Number 4 in the list is Network Anarchy. And what it does for you, it actually allows you to place things in some areas that you wouldn't normally be able to do. So for example, if we try to get a road, let me get a normal road. And if I try to cross this over here, normally you wouldn't be able to do that. With Anarchy, that lets you do something like this. For example, here I can't do anything because the space is already occupied. If I turn it on, you see the chirpy goes mad over there, and now I can do this anywhere. That's the difference, and this allows you to create junctions that are very tight, like those ones in here, and you can build in areas that you wouldn't normally be able to. It'll also help you do things like, for example, if you want to first lay out your road in here, you wouldn't be able to do that without network anarchy. And then after that, you would be coming in here like, oh, let me lower this down, and then we replace this by bridges. It just makes your life a lot easier in that sense. Obviously, with that demonstration, the next one wouldn't be any other one other than move it. And with move it, you just can, well, move everything in the map. You can move segments like this. You can move nodes like that. You can raise things, you can lower things, you can move trees, for example. I'm always moving, and you can do Ctrl Z to move things back. You can move buildings, but this building should actually be there. And this actually allows you to do some things that are quite nice. For example, the junctions that I usually do, and we can show it in here. I usually place all the roads, and then I start raising things up, and I need to actually fix the height of this one, because this is a little bit weird, and I'm using move it, so I'm lowering it down a little bit, and then this is on the same height in there. It also helps you get the right curves in the roads and making sure things look right. And what I usually use that as well is to get some buildings and put them very close together. So if we get something like, I don't know, let's grab any building in here. Usually wouldn't be able to add buildings like on top of each other, right? So we could add this in here. You would use move it, and you could place this somewhere else. Let's say you want to make like that shed is in the same building as this one. You just move that around like that. Obviously you have a fence in here, and there are mods that you can use to remove that, but this just gives you an indication on what you can do there and how you could do that as well. Another good use for this is in areas like this where you have like really high density buildings. One thing that you could use in your favor is basically, like, for example, usually have a medical office, and you don't know that you don't have mixed use buildings in City Skylines, but you could put the building inside another building, move it to hide inside there, and then that building would do kind of two functions, because you do have two buildings inside each other there, and that's another very good use for that. Now you can also do things like, for example, this building is on fire, and if I select that with move it, let me just remove that one and go in here and reset that object, the building just stops being on fire, and that's one use for that. If you have like a death wave or a building that you want to be rebuilt, you can choose that, or you have like notifications like this, you can basically do the same thing and the building will be reset. A lot of people go away. These are all the people that are working there, but obviously the building will receive more people again, and we'll be able to get more workers in there. But this helps in some areas where you want to maintain a specific style and that you usually put those buildings manually. You can do other things with move it as well. You can, for example, I have these pillars showing here. You can select just specific types of buildings, props, they call surface trees and all that sort of stuff. You can select that and you can lower or raise that to hide it. Select all these nodes, and you can also slope objects so you have a nicer curve in there. compared to this one. As you can see, I'll leave it that way for now because we are not doing anything in here. But there are so many options with this tool. You can randomly rotate, you can mirror objects, you can select, for example, if we select everything in here, or let's say we're selecting all the nodes and I want all these nodes, you can press this button which you duplicate and you can copy and paste this somewhere else. You can also use this to delete everything as well. So many uses in there. It's worth spending some time and looking into this mod because it's probably the most downloaded mod ever in Cities Skylines, and it's certainly something that you would like to see and to use. And the bonus mod is Play It. So I use that quite a lot, especially this is the normal speed of the game, and like they're going pretty fast and we are on speed 1. So what I usually do, especially for recording the videos, I lower the speed between 6 and 7 and it looks a little bit more realistic in the way they go. It feels like we are really keeping an eye on it from above, and it makes a lot more sense for me. You can also change the speed of day and night there. You can change the time of the day, so you can basically go at night and see the city. At the moment we are paused and this cycle day night is disabled, but you can do that as well in here. You can change the weather, you can change the rain snow intensity, you can enable and disable weather in here, you can change the fog, cloud, even northern lights at night if you want to. And on the advanced you have some options like the 24-hour clock. You can pause day and night when the simulation also pauses or not. You can change the weather in here, what you allow or not as well. And these are something that I use quite a lot, but you usually don't see me using because I do set this as it is at the moment, and I just leave it running because there is nothing else we can do. It's just to help you out. Oh, so many people out of that train now. But it just helps you achieve this nice speed that I think it's a lot more realistic than the normal speed of the game as well. But there we are. We have our 5 mods and 1 extra in there that I throw at the end. And I hope you've enjoyed this and that has been a little bit helpful. Obviously, I didn't go through every single option that you have in those mods. It's just what I use it the most for. And those are the mods, in my opinion, that are the most useful, that have been the most useful for me in the past year. And let me know in the comments what you've been using, which ones I've missed in the list, and which ones you would recommend for everyone else. So just before we go, I just want to thank you, our community, for suggesting this video. And I really appreciate all your suggestions, your comments, and sometimes criticism, but it's always welcome. And as you can see, we've built that and we have it out, and I hope this is what you were looking for. So for now, thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.